right, hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. Today we have Barry once again with us to give us an update on his 3-month post-op hair transplant. So welcome, Barry. How's
Thanks,
everything
man.
going?
Thanks, man. Going very well. Yeah, it's slow going.
So going okay. It's exactly your 3-month, right?
It was 3 months. Tuesday passed. So this is
Tuesday.
Friday. Yeah, Tuesday passed.
Have you started noticing some growth? I can tell that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can actually. It just kind of like just started popping up like crazy there.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, like baby hair is just like forming the hairline. So it was, yeah, there's growth. So I'm hoping that's a sign of like what's to come type of thing, but it's looking at this forming into this hairline. So
normally I think most people see growth starting around like their 3 to 4 month mark. So if you are starting to see a little bit of like hair sprouting, it's a good sign. Some people might take longer, but I think most people typically see it around their 3-month mark. And that was also the case for me. And it's exciting because, you start seeing like, because it's kind of like, after a hiatus of just not seeing anything there, especially after the grafts, fall out, and then you're like just basically kind of stuck in a limbo of just a waiting game. It's exciting to start noticing growth. And, as time goes on, it's going to get thicker and thicker. And I think around like month 6 is kind of like when you are able to style your hair, and it's going to be a lot more dense and thick. So you're just kind of like right in the beginning phase of the growth process, and it's looking good. I mean,
thanks, man. I cut my hair today.
Yeah, it looks good.
I gave it a little trim. It's weird. It's just like there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a waiting game. You just have to, hold the controls and cruise through it. Wait.
It's absolutely true, man. There's nothing you can do, especially at this stage right now. I mean, it also kind of looks like the redness subsided a little bit compared to last time. It's
a tiny bit. I've noticed like the last couple weeks, I've been like just like exploding with like acne, like pimples on my head. It just came out of nowhere type of thing. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
What have you been doing to treat them?
The clinic gave me some anti-acne cream that I've been using. It's not great. It's okay. Like it's kind of like it slows it down, but it slowly goes away type of thing. So I haven't been, I don't pick at the pimples or scabs and stuff like that. So I just kind of wade through.
I know last time you kind of talked about like a lot of itchiness and hair. Are you still having that, or
no? That's subsided quite a bit. My donor area is like there's a lot of the bumps are still there. I don't know if that's normal. Everybody has different experiences with this stuff, right? Like it's, of course, it's very individual, but yeah, there's like a couple of bumps on the head that I noticed that are still just hanging on. I'm sure it'll go away after a bit of time. But other than that, man, it's the itch has gone away quite a bit. Like I said, that's it. The only thing that's been like, I guess a little bit annoying is the like my head's been kind of dry from the Rogaine and stuff like that. So that's it. Other than that, it's been like just kind of a waiting game.
Yeah.
There's no real complaints. There's no real issues, which is fantastic.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have no complaints about it. It's just like slowly waiting, right?
Yeah, it's a long process, and the good sign is the hairs are growing out. There's people that sometimes even like in their month 4, month 5, they don't see growth. They might be like an outlier of just a slow grower, but when you don't really see growth after like the 3-month mark, you kind of start getting worried and anxious, panicking, especially because you had what, like 3,400 grafts, right?
34, yeah.
3,400, okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's good, man. It's good that you're starting to notice hair growth.
So. Yeah, I think so. I can see a difference. You're looking at it every day, right? Like, and I'm trying not to, obsess about it, but it's hard not to kind of obsess about it. I'm not like, putting the camera on my head every day and taking like close-up shots of my head. It's just like I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, okay, there's there's a hairline now coming in.
Yeah.
In vision, so that's exciting, right?
Yeah. So when you go out, what do you do to your hair? Do you like put on a hat, or because I mean it's pretty
Oh
noticeable
yeah, hat.
you go out like that, right? You
Hat
see
all the time.
and they're like, what is, you know, like people that don't know a hair transplant, they're gonna wonder like, what did he do to his hair, right?
Yeah.
I think most men who are experiencing hair loss, they'll probably know that, you know, you've had a hair transplant, and
Yeah.
some people are just okay just going out like that, but even for me too, like I had to put on a beanie for quite some time, or wear a hat. I just wasn't comfortable just going out exposed with.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt same way, and like I've always, prior to this, I've always kept my hair a little bit longer because of my receding and stuff like that, and cover it up. So
yeah.
All of a sudden I was just like, it happened. We didn't tell anybody, type of thing, and now all of a sudden I have short hair and I'm wearing a hat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to start telling like our friends and stuff like that. But our friends have been like really respectful.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we know you got it done. We won't pick on you too much. We'll just kind of wait. I'm like, yeah, you don't have a choice. You had to wait. Right?
Yeah.
So it's all good, man. It's all like, it's all a bit of fun. The waiting is obviously the hardest part. But it's all good. It is what it is right now. It doesn't matter what's going on. Like it's gone. If it doesn't grow, it is what it is.
Can't go back, right?
Can't go back, man. Like, so it's all good either way. So
how short are you cutting your hair on the side and the back? I'm just kind of curious.
So I use I let it grow. Today was the first time I actually cut it.
Okay.
So it was growing. I don't know. It was probably about 1 inch long.
So the first time ever since you got the hair transplant?
The first time, yeah. So I used I guess a number 8 on the guard, and I just went through it, and that was that. I don't like having my hair short. That's probably I'm lying. So this is probably the worst thing is having my hair that short.
I was gonna ask, did you ever consider shaving it down just to make everything more uniform and?
I think if it when it starts growing in more.
In
front, I'll probably uniform it.
Yeah, make it the same length as the hairs that are growing in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you, as far as treatment, are you doing anything different from what you did last time, or are you still on the same treatment? You've been on what, Minoxidil?
I'm on Minoxidil now every day, twice a day, after the transplant. I'm using it now full time, and prior to that I'm using 1.25 milligrams of finasteride once a day. But now I got a prescription to use a 0.5 milligram of dutasteride that I think I'm going to introduce into the whole regimen and kind of piggyback it off of finasteride. I'm thinking I got it. I'm got it approved to get it, so I'm like. I think it was kind of holding ground a bit.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't really. I didn't see any major improvements, but ever since I started using the Rogaine, it's kind of I feel like something's happening in the crown a bit. So I'm thinking that the dutasteride might just kind of bump it up. I'd never had any side effects from finasteride at all. So
are you planning on kind of weaning off of finasteride and sticking with dutasteride, or are you?
I think I might piggyback to both. I think I might use the finasteride a couple of days a week, then introduce dutasteride and take a break from it during the week. Maybe take a couple of days off and just to see how it goes, because I know that the dutasteride has a longer half-life, so it's going to take a longer time for it to introduce to my system. We'll see. But so far, whatever I'm using right now, it's been pretty good. I have no complaints, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's good, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've also considered taking dutasteride. I'm probably gonna do a separate video on this, but I feel like I'm losing ground on the hair transplant.
I don't think so, dude.
I
think you're golden.
It's lighting. I'll do a video on it, but yeah, that's one of the things. I think dutasteride is, definitely a lot more stronger than finasteride, and
it is, yeah.
But a lot of people forget when they get a hair transplant is that they still need to be on medication, right? Just because you had a hair transplant doesn't mean that you're not going to lose hair. It's you got to worry about the hairs behind the transplant areas, right?
Sure.
And a lot of people forget that, and they think that they don't need treatment, but that's not the case. And for some people, they're able to hold ground with finasteride. Others aren't able to. They lose efficacy over time. And I think most people with finasteride, they're able to maintain what they have because finasteride it's been around for a long time, and there's like 10-year plus studies done where people are able to maintain what they have for a decade or longer. So I think that's I think it's a good medication for most people as long as they don't get any side effects. And good thing for you is that you haven't had any side effects. So
I used it for aside from that, I used it for prostate issues as well that I had years ago that never really got into anything serious, but just through like family genetics and stuff like that, I decided to ask questions about it.
Yeah.
And it's been fine ever since. There's been no, like I said, no side effects. I think it's wild, like now having a transplant, because you're really honed in on taking care of what you have. It's just amazing to me that there's there's a crazy lack of common sense when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean? Men who lose their hair, even women lose their hair. I mean, obviously it's different, but the whole lack of research is very blows me away a bit. That you're losing your hair anyway. You get a transplant. It's not like it's a cure.
Right.
You got to back this stuff up, man. It's just this is science. It just always blew my mind. It's like you had to be on something.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Like you want to be on medication before you get a hair transplant because you want to be able to stabilize hair loss as much as you can, and there's no point if you're not able to do that and you get a hair transplant, you're going to continue to lose hair, right? So what's the point of getting a hair transplant?
Yeah.
Unless you're like a Nord 7 and you just kind of want to frame your face and just have a nice hairline in the front. But I think most people they have a good set of hair to the point where a hair transplant should be able to restore at least to how they used to look like. Minus the density, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, man, like I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that
thanks, man.
There's nothing going on, which is a good sign, right?
It's I mean, whatever's going on is positive. So I'm just gonna run with that. I can't there's no point to panic. It's only 3 months. From just the way research goes is it could be 6 months until I get that real growth boom, and who knows, right?
6 months, right? 6 months is kind of like where everything just kind of explodes and you're going to look totally different from how you did before. Like all the hair is going to be growing in, it's going to get a lot more thicker, you're going to be increasing in density. And the fact that you've been on treatment, it might even help accelerate the hair growth process, and hopefully if you jump onto finasteride, it might even promote new hair growth, so it might even look thicker than what it should look like on top of a hair transplant.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm just going to I'm going to research a bit more on what protocol is going to fit my schedule and how I want to do it. But I think that's a good stack, between the finasteride and finasteride at the same time, and take a break on certain days during the week and see what happens from there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, would you? So I'm just kind of curious. Would you get a second hair transplant, assuming that you're not, fully satisfied with the density and because hair transplants are addicting. They're like a drug where I
don't think so. I never like to this point. It truly depends, right? It depends on how it grows in. If there's like, if it's lacking density in front, I'd be like, might be something I can, consider and talk to someone about. But right now, I just want to just cruise with it a bit, and
we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, right?
No pun intended. Yeah, I just want to, like, right now it's just, of course this is about, okay, this is, it's something that's happening, it's exciting, it's cool, let's just wait and see what happens. I'm happy to have any results at all. I mean, from what it was before, I was thinking that, you know, I was kind of like holding on to what I had left because I was on, you know, finasteride, and I was using a little bit of Rogaine, not as much as I am now. So I was kind of like, it is what it is type of thing. If I can keep what I got, then great. But now since I got the hair transplant, I'm like, you know, this is great. You know, there's the potential to have more hair. Wonderful. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's all positive.
Yeah, and hopefully, when we hit month 4, month 5, we're gonna be able to see even more hair growth. Because right now, like, it's very difficult to see. I don't know if you're able to kind of zoom in for us.
You can't really see. It looks like,
yeah.
But
I do see a lot of pimples though.
Yeah, I know. It's just
on
like
the hairline and area behind it, and
like I think it looks worse on camera. So it's not that bad, like in person. And I think it's just the way the camera's like honing in and stuff like that. But
well, they're permanently anchored, so
I don't know. Yeah, they're anchored. Yeah,
they're in there for good. So
and there's no like there's no shedding no more. That's like gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. It's just like now we're into this different chapter of the growth, right?
Yeah, because I know last time you're almost kind of wishing that you'd be kind of like the outlier and most of the hairs that were implanted.
There was one guy I seen on Reddit, right? Because now I'm like on Reddit and I'm like this, which is, you know, I don't know, kind of criminal to be honest. But there's a lot of great stories and a lot of great results, and there's men and women who like get it done and they're like, oh my god, what have I done? It's not working. But there was one guy who like he didn't shed, like no shed at all. He had this like perfect hairline right throughout, and then his growth was like magnificent. He like looked like Elvis by the end of it. It was just like, what?
Was it what is it like wasn't it like a British guy, or he was from Australia? Like
I don't remember. I can't remember, but it was.
Yeah, I know of one YouTuber, like this was like 5-6 years ago, and he was able to retain most of the hairs that were implanted. He only lost maybe like 5-10%, and so it looked pretty
insane. Yeah,
it looked really good.
He looked fantastic, whatever he had done, and whoever his doctor was. But like we said earlier, it's this individual. You just it's odd chance that he was just one of those guys that, you know.
Right, and it's nice though. Like it kind of shows you how you're gonna, or you might look like, 10, 12 months post hair transplant. So it's good. It's good to see. But I mean, most people they're not lucky, and they lose most of, if not all of the hairs that were implanted. So
and those are sad stories, right? And that's too bad because those people, you get that hope, right? You just once you get it done, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to happen. Now I have the hope, and all I got to do is wait, type of thing. Right? So I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, there are stories of people, unsuccessful stories, right? People just not getting what they want to get and the results and blah 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 blah. So, man, I'm open with it. If it's successful, fantastic. If it's not what I am picturing that it's going to be, then so be it, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's going to be good, man. I've had motion clinic, and I don't think you would have to worry anything about the hairs not growing in or.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's just it's a waiting game. Like we said, just a matter of time before you're gonna be noticing more hair. So very happy for you, man.
Thanks, man.
Do another update around, I don't know, month 4.
Sure.
If you do see a lot more growth, if not, we can just jump to like month 5 or something. But I just want to be able to see like a drastic difference between each month and see your progress.
Sure.
But yeah, man, thanks for sharing, and I appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. It's always good to connect.
If you have any questions or anything, any concerns you might have, feel free to reach out.
I will.
Till next time, man.
Okay.
Keep growing.
Thanks, buddy. Take care of yourself.
All right, Barry. I'll talk to you next time, man. Take care.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.